is a demonstration of the button slicer feature in Power BI. Here I have already loaded my data model with customers, products, and the sales fact table. So I have a few dimension tables: customers, products, and this is something like a snowflake schema: products with subcategories and categories, and sales is the fact table. So this is my data model, this is my customer table, and this is my sales table. So basically this is something I have downloaded from the Microsoft GitHub site for Power BI training. So I can generate reports. So this is a report that I have generated, okay, which is column report based on country and sale amount. I'll just show that again. I'll remove this. So I'm going to create a report here. I say I use a column chart. Okay. Just expand this, and what I want on the x axis and on the y axis. For example, on the x axis I want country, and on the y axis I want the sum of sales amount. So I have sales amount by country. Now I could add a normal slicer that is shown in training programs. This is a normal slicer. So I could have a slicer based on, say, market. Okay, so I could slice the data by markets. This is just a normal slicer. Okay, if you go to Canada is one market by itself, USA is one market by itself, but if you go to Latin America, Africa, and APEC, they are all different markets. So this is the regular slicer which is covered in most training programs. I'll remove this. I will create a button slicer, so that's over here. Okay, so let me just, I'm going to place a button slicer here. Put a button slicer. I just going to resize the area for the button slicer, and what I want for the button slicer again is I'm going to, instead of market, I'm going to put category. Okay, so these are the categories, and you can see the buttons are now presented like this. There are 3 categories. I can then format this slicer. Okay, for example, if I want to include a show all, I can switch that to on, and as a basically select all. So I can include select all, I can take out select all, but let me leave select all in there. Okay, so these are all the different options. If I take furniture, it shows me the sales by furniture or office supplies or technology, and all sales. Okay, I can, for this multi-button layout, I can even change the layout to be horizontal, and I can have multiple columns. Okay, so I have, let me just expand this a bit. Okay, so I can select all, I can deselect all, I can take office supplies, furniture. So here it is, go back here, the slicer setting is including all. Multi-button layout is horizontal. I can change it to vertical, or I can change it to a grid layout. Okay, so this is a grid layout. Let me just change it back to horizontal and resize it a bit. So I can select by category, I can select all categories. I can also put in some more information for the layout also. I can put in a selection icon. So here you can see the selection icon becomes a button itself. Okay, let me just select a single category. So or I can select all or deselect all. This is furniture, office, technology. I can change the size of the button or the layout of the button also. I could change it to, say, I can move the button to the top or the center or the bottom. So let me leave it in the center, and I will just resize this button slicer. Okay, then I could add another slicer here. Let me create another slicer, another button slicer here, and I'm going to base this button slicer on market. So I just going to drag market here. So these are all the different markets. I go to the layout for the slicer, and in this case I do not want a show all option, select all. I can take it out if I want. I can change the layout again. Let me leave it as a grid layout here in this case, but I can make some other changes. Okay, here I am not going to use selection icon. Let's just leave it off. So this slicer looks different from this slicer. But how do I organize these buttons? Also I can change that. For example, instead of rectangle shape, I can change them to rounded rectangles. or in snipped tabs. You can see snipped tabs. So this is Africa, this becomes APAC. Then I can also set colors. So for the buttons I want to set background colors. Also I can change, put in a color here, gold. Okay, so you'll identify which is the selected tab. Like I said, Canada and USA are markets on their own, but the others have multiple countries. So then I can select, I can do multi-selection like furniture Africa, or furniture APAC, or Africa and office. So you can see these are changing. So this way I can have different types of button icons. This is where I have laid out the button icons as horizontal layout. Here I have laid them out in a different layout, and I can include the selection icon, that is this button here. Let me come back here, for example, show you that to you how it looks here. So here you can see the selection icon looks like this, like a button like this. So you can play around with these button icons. There are other things you can change also, effects, formats. I can take out the header icons, which doesn't make sense here, but I can make some properties. I can resize it also. I can change the position. So these are button icons which are different from the this is the button icon, sorry, the button slicer, which is different from the regular slicer that is covered in most training programs. Thank you.